morning, everybody. This is the StellaLuna podcast. This is episode 19. My name is Jackson, and I am your host, filming from Chattanooga, Tennessee, where I live with my husband and our 2 golden retriever puppies. I am also the dyer behind StellaLuna Fiber Co., which is my hand-dyed yarn company. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Ravelry. Finally got my Ravelry stuff linked like it should be. And my Etsy shop is obviously on Etsy, but it is StellaLuna Fiber Co. over on Etsy. I will have links to all of that down below, so you can find me, follow me, whatever, if you feel so inclined. But this is my kind of crafty podcast. I talk about a lot of different things that I do. I knit, quilt, needlepoint, and cross stitch, but primarily I knit. So, and that is all I have really to show today is knitting. But yeah, so let's dive right in. I have some very exciting and probably like long-awaited news in regards to finished objects. But my Midco sweater is done. Trying to see if I can, it's like too big to fit in frame. This is a lovely pattern by Jennifer Steingass. I have knit this out of Brooklyn Tweed Loft, I think. So we have the cast iron color, which is the main color, and then we have Woodsmoke, which is this beigey gray, and Embers. I casted this off the other week, and yeah, this had been on the needles for a little bit over a year, and it's off and it's done, and I can now officially have a sweater that I knit quote-unquote recently, even though it's taken me a long time to knit, to wear to bring back. So I'm very excited, and it's just very nice to have that finished. But that's my only finished object. I am, at least I think I'm a slow knitter. That might not be the case. I'm sure there's people out there who are slower than me, and obviously people who are faster than me. I'm also a distracted person, so I have a hard time sitting and knitting on the exact same thing monogamously for very long. So, but I do have some works in progress that I am working on. So if you have watched this podcast before, in particular like the past couple of episodes that are recent and not ones that are from forever ago, you will have seen me kind of talk about some of my dream knitting. And I was finally able to cast on one of my dream knitting knits. And let's see if I can present this nicely. It's a lot of stockinette, so it's kind of rolling up on itself. But this is, got caught on itself. This is the Lodge sweater by Ozetta. It is a bottom up split hem kind of sweatshirty. It's like my best way of describing it. It's like going to be like a big cozy sweatshirt. I am knitting this on my BFL Aran in not Arctic Fox, Silver Fox. Can't even remember my own colorway sometimes. But, and I am alternating my skeins using helical knitting. I did not do that for the ribbing. I didn't bother alternating for the ribbing, but once I started working in the round, that's when I started alternating skeins. And I am about, at least according to the measurements, which this looks huge, but I'm also sizing up on yarn. This pattern calls for worsted, and I'm doing Aran weight. And so this might be a little bit bigger than I really need it to be, but again, the intent is for this to be big cozy sweatshirt sweater. But I am about an inch away from splitting for the sleeves to work flat again, which is very, very exciting. I'm feeling all the progress with this. My sister and I are both knitting the same sweater. She's just knitting hers out of different yarn that she was able to get from my mom. So that is work in progress number 1. This one gets a lot of love for the most part, just because it knits up so quickly. And then this is another like long-standing whip that like didn't really need to get put aside, but it is kind of like a scarf, and you are working flat, and it is kind of like I'm not a big fan of working flat, but I do really like the pattern. But this is the Mallow Flower, and this is a like wrap scarf design by Tyne Swedish, and she is the cleverest stitch over on Instagram. She's got a lot of really cute shawl patterns, and this is one of them. It's like a twisted rib, and then when I get to 50 grams left of my first colorway, I'll start striping with my second colorway, and then when I get to 50 grams left of the second colorway, then I'll start striping in the third colorway, and then knit the last section out of the leftover 50 grams of the third colorway. So very, very cute. And it's twisted rib, you know, so it does have its own rhythm, but it is like a little slow, and that's just because twisted rib is, you know, a little finicky. You're knitting through the back loops and stuff, but I really like it. It's super cute, and I'm knitting this out of Deep Stash. This is Cozy Posy Cloud, and Cozy Posy Yarn Company on her Cloud base, which is a single ply. And I did size up the needles on this because I did want this to be a little bit more drapey than what the pattern calls for. Plus I don't think I had needle sizes available in what the pattern calls for, so I was like, we're just gonna go up a needle size. But this is, I believe, Birch, and then these are the other 2 colorways. And I believe this one's Brick and Mortar, and then this one's Firelight, or vice versa. This one's Firelight and this one's Brick and Mortar. I can never remember, and I don't want to be taking the labels out of the center every single time. But I do have, I believe I have the yarn listed already on like my Ravelry page, and that should make it a little bit clearer. But yes, so this is getting a little bit of love. I haven't done much this week, but I am trying to do 30 minutes of shawl knitting in the morning before I start dyeing. I have a big wholesale order. Which this is exciting, kind of shoppy news, but I will be at, my yarn will be carried at the Chattanooga Yarn Company when they open. So I am working on their wholesale order right now. So I've been very busy. Kind of taking a day off of dyeing today because we're having pretty consistent rain and thunderstorms, and to be honest, I don't really feel comfortable being out in the garage when it's like that. So I've been working on stuff inside today, like labeling and doing that kind of good stuff. But anywho, that's that. But anyway, so I've been working on 30 minutes of shawl knitting in the morning before I start dyeing while my yarn is soaking. Oh my gosh, my long-winded stories. And then I only have one other work in progress that I've been working on. As I've said before in the past, I have a lot of things on the needles, but a lot of it is not really being touched, which is fine. I am working on it. The fall knitting mojo has kicked in. The lighting changed here this past weekend. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But it like shifted to fall lighting, and it is making me really, really happy. It was like an instant, like as soon as I noticed the light change, like I got immediate serotonin. I hate summer. The only thing that makes summer worthwhile for me is my vegetable garden, and my vegetable garden looks really sad right now because it's been so stinking hot. But this is the other project that's been getting work done. I work on this while I am out dyeing. There is usually a little bit of time while yarn is in the pans, and I have to keep an eye on it, but I have to be kind of present because I do have burners running. So I tend to just have this and I'll knit a row and stuff like that sporadically while I dye. So this is getting some good love, and this is just a regular old vanilla sock. I am doing magic loop, and I'm going to do an afterthought heel, so I'm just kind of knitting a giant tube until I decide I'm done, and then I'll do toes and what have you. But this is my August colorway for the StellaLuna Library Yarn Club, which is my little yarn club that I've got going on right now. As I am filming currently, there is no yarn club in the shop. It's only open for the first week of the month, and then I will be dyeing and prepping for that to get it to you by the first of the indicated month by the yarn club. So this was August colorway. The listings went up in July for August, but this is What If This Man Is Your Lancelot. So cute. And this is on a tweed base. Trying to get this to, it's kind of blowing out just a tiny bit, but it's like a gray-blue base for the main skein with like green and brown and a little bit of blue. And then a sweet little kind of like heathered pink mini. This is inspired by The Chief by Monica McCarty, which is a Highland romance, and it's one of my favorite series. It is inspired by, or I shouldn't say necessarily inspired, it takes place during Robert the Bruce, early 1300s. It's his secret Highland Guard that's like helping him kind of thwart the English and, you know, trying to establish a Scottish throne kind of deal. And it's really good, and I'm a medieval history nerd, so I really like it because there's a lot of information that the author includes in like kind of the like author's notes at the end about like who, like what historical events were supposed to be happening during this book, and like where the inspiration's coming from certain characters, and you know, if they're inspired by like actual people that were alive at the time or not, or like where names came from, all that good stuff. So I kind of geek out over that particular series. So that was the first colorway for it. September's is a 1930s cozy mystery, and that's another really fun colorway. I can't wait to show y'all. I should be able to get the color, the boxes mailed out probably like next week, potentially this week. We'll see. So I should be able to announce colorways here really soon for that, for like this coming month, since I already have like pretty much everything done. I just have to make one last little thing, like the yarn's dyed, the stuff has been printed, and so it's just like this one last little component that I'm waiting on some materials to arrive today in the mail. But I love this. Me and my sister, my sister buys practically everything that I dye, so she's a wonderful, supportive human being, but we're making matching socks. We are those kinds of sisters. We both are making a matching sweater, just in different colors. We're making matching socks. This is her first ever pair of socks, and so far they look amazing. So I'm very excited to have socks that match with her and stuff. And this is also on a tweed base, so it's really, really gorgeous, and just feels very Scottish romance to me. So I really like that. But that kind of concludes all of my knitting. I'm not going to do too much in the way of shop news other than, like I said earlier, I am going to be carried at the Chattanooga Yarn Company when they open, so I'm working really hard on that. Next week on August 16th, my Cozy Mysteries fall collection will be announced, or not announced, it will be listed on Etsy. So if you want to go and see colorways, I am currently rolling them out over the course of this week. 3 of the colorways have already been posted, so you can go look at those, and then I will be posting the rest of the colorways into the weekend. So, so everyone can see everything prior to it being listed, but those will be up August 16th in the morning. But yeah, so that's kind of it. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. My Roomba is making noise. I'm going to close that. But I hope y'all enjoyed this. If you feel so inclined, please, leave a thumbs up. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's kind of it.